I was told so often by adults when I was a child and a teen that I was an old soul and that I was so mature for my age. And in some ways, I was. But it was because of the torture and the trauma and the trafficking that was happening to me. It wasn't trying to be more mature. I felt so old inside and I didn't identify with my peers. I just wanted to be around adults who would talk about trauma or the ways things affect us or have really deep conversations, which I couldn't find with my peers, although I was being bullied a lot. And I was queer and non binary when I wasn't finding other kids who were. I'm sure there were, I just wasn't finding them. But it was all the torture and trauma. It affected me so deeply. But adults were saying it as a compliment, probably in part because I was so well behaved, but that was fear, right? And terror. But also, I was so weighed down by all the torture and trauma and fighting so hard to want to be here and fighting to find goodness in the world and connection and depth. And I'm so glad that I did with some adults who would hear me and listen to me. And I found a really good therapist a few years after I first disclosed a tiny bit of the trauma, like child sexual abuse, which was sexual assault with my great uncle. I couldn't disclose about my parents and the rest of the family. I was living with my parents were threatening me every day and night to kill me if I talked. I'm so grateful that I had some adults who heard me and listened to me with compassion and empathy. And I wish they'd been able to see deeper.